welcome to Cooking from the Heart. I am your host, Danielle Motley Lewis. And this month, we will be talking about college health. So, we have a few students who have joined us. They've taken a break from their studies and they've taken our challenge to eat food that matters. So, we have a very informative show in line for you. Before we get to our guests and before we introduce our co-host, let me just do a recap from the last couple of shows because this is my third time with you all. And I just want to level set again and just share the benefits of our hemp seeds, our hemp hearts, and hemp foods. So we know that hemp foods are an excellent source of protein. We know that they are extremely rich in fiber and vitamin E. We know that the hemp seeds contain huge amounts of phosphorus and potassium. We know the hemp seeds are rich in calcium and iron. So with everything going on in the world right now, all of these variants and everything, these are an essential superfood to ensure that you remain healthy and strong and ready for your studies when you're on campus. So yes, as you see, they promote good heart health, good brain health, good overall health. So we are excited to have our chefs here with us today to show us, how they can make quick and easy meals to help nourish their mind, body, and soul while they're in school. So I am going to introduce my co-chef, my co-host. My co-host is, I have to get her resume out. I swear it's like 8 pages long. This is an impressive woman here. So Lakeisha Camise is my co-host of the day. Lakeisha Camise recently received her Juris Doctor from the Southern University Law Center. She is originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, and received her bachelor's degree in criminal justice from the Southern University at New Orleans. Prior to law school, Lakeisha worked as a DNA paralegal for the Dallas County Public Defender's Office, where she was afforded the opportunity to work with the Innocence Project of New York and the exoneration of one of her clients. But it doesn't stop there. In addition to serving as the 2020-2021 Moot Court Board Parliamentarian, Lakeisha also served as the chair of the Student Bar Association's Diversity Committee, as well as the president of SULC's Minorities for Medical Marijuana Student Organization. Lakeisha has always been a strong champion of Sankofa. We're going to talk more about that. Currently, Lakeisha is the inaugural M4MM HBCU Fellow and Project Manager. I told you the girl was skilled. Additionally, Lakeisha is employed with Elira Holistic Healthcare, which is the vendor for Southern University's Agricultural Center Medical Marijuana Program in Louisiana. Lakeisha aspires to take over the world, and while she's doing so, she will be practicing law in the areas of public policy, cannabis law, criminal law, and civil and human rights. Can we just get a round of applause and snap for Lakeisha? Thank you for joining me today. How did you get the time to take a break from running the world, Miss Camise?
Well, my good buddy Eric Range called up and, he says, I need your help. And you know me, I'm a helper.
You are.
I'm a giver. So whenever he needs help, I'm here. Anything for MM.
Well, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for joining us. So let's talk about what motivates you to help, to give, to do the work that you do, especially in the hemp and cannabis space.
Just a lot. When I first came into the cannabis industry, I noticed that when I looked around of the C-suite, the executive areas, there was not a lot of us around. There were not a lot of people of color. There was not a lot of representation for those minority communities. And so that's when that call to action for M for MM became even more prevalent, right? If we look at it, this is an industry where previously our, brothers and sisters, mothers, fathers, cousins, whomever was previously criminalized, right? And they're still serving, serving sentences for nonviolent crimes, right?
Absolutely.
And one of the barriers to becoming a license holder in the cannabis industry or participating in this industry is that you have a previous conviction, right? So we've got to go back, and I'm going to segue into that ever so arching question of Sankofa is going back and reaching back and getting those folks and saying, hey, now that it's now legal in your state, whether it's medical or adult use recreational, we need you to participate in this because why? I figure if you can do this, cannabis, right? Always a great thing, right? Getting those subject matter experts, as I call them, into the industry, getting those records cleared. And you never know the wealth of information that they can be bringing on board to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing a bit of what motivates you, a bit of your heart, and what drives you to do the work that we're doing in this space. So let's talk about your health and wellness routine. Like, how do you keep yourself healthy and fit in order to take over the world? Basically, what you're doing. How do you stay
Well,
fit and healthy?
I used to hit the gym, several times a week, and then COVID hit and the whole world shut down, right? So I went and bought a bike. I've been biking along Baton Rouge riverfront, 16, 20 miles. Once you get out there, it's exhilarating. Past that first, 8 miles, because that first 8 miles, I'm going to tell you, you want to quit. You're like, this is trash. I don't want to do this. But once you get past like that 8 mile, you're like, I'm getting that second wind.
Absolutely.
You notice that one of the things that COVID system, right? So we want to make sure that we are keeping ourselves as healthy as possible. Also that mindfulness, meditation, yoga, saging the house, girl, just all of
Okay.
that. I make sure that I do a full holistic approach to that. So yeah.
Okay. So yes, so you've talked about the physical, you've talked about mindfulness. Now we cannot forget what's most important and what we're here for is what you're putting in your body, right? So
Right,
you've
right.
already told us that you can throw down, but you can keep it,
I
clean
got a
and
little something
healthy too.
simmering right here. We're working on some things. Some things are simmering right here. Okay, so I will tell you, here's a little tidbit. Back in the day, because I tell you I'm a Jane of all trades, right? Back in the day, I was a bakery sales manager and a cake decorator. So that's why you see your lovely little apron here. And this is a shout out to my nieces. They gave me this in a basket for Christmas, and it was wonderful. And if you're in the cannabis industry, it has two meanings. So we have that going. But what I learned is back when I was in Dallas, I was dealing with a little high cholesterol, right? And I
Mm,
said, you know what? My doctor's wanting to put me on the statin. And I was like, so when do I get off of this? Like, we're going to do a check about 3 months, 6 months in, what we got? And they basically said, no, this is for life. And I'm thinking, I'm reading the side effects because I'm a researcher by nature, y'all. I'm a researcher. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable with this. So I decided that I am the owner and CEO of my health, and my doctor is my co pilot,
mhm.
which I pay a copay to for fun. I said, okay, this is so I started working out. I went vegetarian. And then I just kind of I became this Whole Foods kind of, just almost vegan type person. I exercise 5, 6 times a week. And I was like, okay, we've gotten our levels down. Every time my weight was dropping, my cholesterol levels were dropping. I wasn't on any medications. And I said, you know what? I can do this for myself. So I started incorporating certain things in, like lean chicken and fish, things of that nature. And I kept to that same kind of almost Daniel fast. I want my vegetables. I want my fresh onions and garlics. And man, if
Wait,
you hit,
so
oh, it
you
smells so
remove
good
the
right here.
dairy, And you did all of this. Was this while you were in college and your undergrad?
Yeah, I did all this for myself. Yeah, I said I'm going to do
Okay.
my own research.
Out there. Okay.
I tell
Okay.
them, I said, you know what? I'm going to be your best and worst patient. I'm probably going to be the worst because I'm going to you're but I'm going to be your best because I'm going to do my best because this is me. You get that one life, right? So
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to fight and continue to work on myself. I was doing 5Ks in Dallas, running with Black Girls Running, the Dallas Running Club. And I just
Okay.
incorporated that into my everyday life. You know, just I'm
Okay.
going to work out and find that time to do that. So yeah.
At what point, because at what point did you discover the benefits of hemp foods, and at what point did you say, I need to add a little bit of this in my life, and I don't need this medication, I don't need what they're prescribing me, this, these hemp foods and everything, all of the benefits that brings is better for me than any prescription? When did you make that decision?
That's definitely during that vegetarian phase because one of the things that my doctor told me is like, so you're not going to have any meat products. So how are you going to get protein? How are you going to live? I mean, she fought me on every little thing. I had a nutritionist on my team who was vegetarian, by the way, and African American and female. And she was like, if you're not getting what you want out of your doctor, your primary care physician, you can change that up. And I said, bet. So
Well,
I had someone that was more into that health.
yeah,
Yes. And
you mentioned
yeah.
the protein, so I just have to do the plug really quick. The 3 tablespoons of the hemp hearts, the hemp seeds, you have 9 grams of plant-based protein. So this is an
Yeah,
excellent replacement or addition to anything that your
absolutely.
diet. So yes, okay. All right. So what, based on everything that you've learned, your experience, you have that JD, you put your work in. What have you learned? Like, what can you share with others who may be in similar situations or other college students? Like, what tips do we want to leave them with before we get to our first guest chef?
Listen to your body. One of the things that I learned when I became vegetarian was listening to my body. One day I was at my desk and I was just like scarfing down like cashews, walnuts. And I was like, why am I walnuts? And I realized my body was craving magnesium,
Mm,
right? That's what's high in nuts. It needed those omega 3s. It needed that good fat, right? So I listened to my body and I'm like, why am I craving this? And it helps you to be mindful. You can get up in the morning and it's like, how can you do a Daniel fast? I told him, I said, the first 3 days, we're hell, right? But if you plan properly, you
and that's
don't have the
21
crap
days,
in your
right?
house.
Isn't that 21 days?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yes,
remember.
yes.
I
You
remember.
don't have the crap in your house. You don't. You don't. And I said, they said, what do you eat? I said, I did a whole Daniel fast diet. And I mean, I showed even a girlfriend of mine, I showed everyone how you can eat, be full and healthy on a Daniel fast diet. They said, I never would have thought about this. I'm like, it's all about recipes. I said, look at your aromatics, your onions, your garlics, your bell peppers, that's what really gives it that savor and that flavor, right? I said,
Absolutely.
and look at all the wonderful vegetables and fruits and the colors. I said, have yourself some raspberries, blueberries, and almond butter with apples in the morning for breakfast. I mean, have yourself bananas and some nuts and some fruit, and you're going to be good. You have a giant
Yeah.
salad for lunch, or even I go even a giant baked potato. I still do this to this day from the Daniel fast with just salt, pepper, green onion. And it's
Okay.
just the freshness of it. I'll add a little hemp hearts on it. Oh my gosh, I got my protein too, so I'm ready to go. You get
I hope
full,
most
I
I know
still
a
eat sweet
baked potato,
potatoes.
that is incredibly easy for a student to do. Baked potato and some green onion, salt, and pepper with some hemp hearts. I really
Right.
like that, and I don't even like to do the
Yeah.
carbs too much, but okay.
Well, you can do sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes is an option. And I
Mm,
still eat sweet potatoes with just a little cinnamon. You don't need it. Once you've gotten that palate clean, everything tastes better. I mean, strawberries taste like a slice of cake. They're so sweet, right? And if you try to eat frosting, you're like, it's too much.
Well, thank you so much.
You're
It's
welcome.
to have you here co-hosting with me. We're going to introduce our first guest chef before we get to you and what you're throwing down in the kitchen and whipping up for us. So I can't wait for that segment. That will obviously, students will have to splurge and spend a little bit more time to do that one, but I can't wait to hear more about it. So we're going to get to Marcus right now. All right. So Marcus Kennedy Grimes is an Oakland, California native. He graduated with honors from Howard University in 2019 with a BA in strategic legal and management communication. He is currently a third-year law student at the University of California, Hastings College of the Law with an interest in intellectual property and trademark law. In his free time, he enjoys playing basketball and has recently picked up distance running. Please join me in welcoming Marcus Grimes.
Hello. How you doing?
No, I'm still on.
Thank you so much for joining us. So it's a pleasure to have you here. Please tell us, what will you be preparing for us today?
So today I have a very lovely chocolate hemp protein shake, which is pretty special to me, but I'll get into that in a minute.
So that okay, I'm unmuted now. All right, sorry. So tell us a little bit about you. I read your bio, but so you've recently taken up long distance running? Are you running?
Yes, I have.
San Francisco? Are you running around Oakland? Like, where do you run?
So I frequent the city of San Francisco. I don't have a particular path I run. I pretty much wake up in the morning and roll the dice. I try to get out and see different parts of the city. So I've been to the pier, then Barcadero, and up towards Ocean Beach. Any type of distance I've done. I think the most I've done is 11 miles now, but some days I just wake up and want to do one.
11 miles? Wow. Okay, so between your studies and your health and fitness and that whole regimen, do you have time for anything else? Are you single? Do you cook for other people and make others protein shakes, or?
I try to cook mainly for myself. With all the other things going on, it's not a lot of time for too much, so I stick to myself mainly. But no, every now and then I cook for friends, and I've gotten some good results. So I think I'm happy with the feedback I've gotten thus far. Good
answer, sir. So what's your favorite thing to prepare?
Right now, actually, gumbo. Over last summer, during this crazy quarantine, my dad taught me how to make his famous gumbo. I say it's famous because I grew up with it and I love it. My grandmother loves it. She was a good cook. So, I recently learned that and have made it a couple times now. So that's my favorite dish to make.
Okay, well, I cannot wait to come over to San Francisco to grab a bowl. So that is the one reason that I will come to San Francisco.
Got it.
Okay, so tell us you said you're making a protein shake. What type of protein shake are we having today?
So this is a chocolate hemp protein shake. It's really simple, y'all. We have a few ingredients. So we'll start with the ingredient. I think I'll say my second favorite ingredient here, which is the cocoa powder. That's the chocolate. And I'll say the best for last, but we got some dates here. Not sure if you can really see there, some dates, and then a banana. And the final most important ingredient, the hemp seeds, hemp hearts right here, that you go ahead and add. So it's really simple. It doesn't take too much, only 4 ingredients, 5 if you consider the water that you have to add. But once you do that, you just toss it in a blender and mix it up and then throw it in the refrigerator and kind of let it all come together. And then for the final product here, I'm just trying to show you guys what we have. This is a shake. As you can see, it looks a lot better once it's all mixed up, and it's crazy to think about, but there's a ton of protein in there, and it's low on fat as well. But my biggest thing is the protein, so that's kind of what I'm most happy about.
Okay, all right. So definitely a great source of protein. You'll need that for your studies. You'll need that for, those 11-mile runs. I can't. Yeah, you can keep that one.
I will. I will.
Or Zoom kickboxing or something, but not not that. So that's an excellent way. I love the fact that it's so simple. So then again, guys, we had the cocoa powder, we had dates, but you may be able to substitute it with a different type of sweetener if you don't want dates. We have 1 banana, and how many cups of water?
2 cups.
2 cups of water. Okay. And so how much does that recipe yield? Does it just yield what was shown in that particular glass there?
No, it's about 40 ounces. I think in total, with the foam, maybe more like 32, but it's a lot in there. I have enough for at least another glass or 2, and I think these are 16-ounce glasses. So, yeah, it's quite a bit.
Okay, so happy hour at Marcus's.
Happy hour at my house, yes.
Okay, all right. So thank you again for taking a break from your studies. Tell us a bit about your course load.
So right now, this is my 3rd year of law school. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with how that goes, but the first year is usually the hardest. Second year is pretty bad, but the 3rd year is usually fairly easy. So I only have 3 classes, which I'm so thankful for. Maybe I could cook for some more people. But that's a very light load for me. I have a remedies class and 2 writing classes, so nothing too intense.
Okay. Well, thank you again. Thank you for the very simple and I'm sure it's delicious recipe. I love chocolate. I love bananas. Dates, they're growing on me. So,
well, maybe you can have one and we'll get you on an 11-mile run.
No. But again, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure. And thank you for cooking from the heart. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. So next, we are going to go back to our co-host. She left me for a minute because she's in there throwing down in the kitchen.
Yeah, I'm making sure it's good up in here. I'm making sure we got you good.
Okay, so tell us about what you are preparing for students. What are you preparing? What recipe are you sharing with those who are watching?
Okay. So that's let's do the first camera. Good. I want to make sure we're getting this in. Okay, perfect. All right. I think it's all right. Okay.
That looks good. That looks good.
So what I'm doing is it's a 1-pan meal. And that's the main thing because, ain't everybody probably got pots if they living in a dorm or they just, poor law students because we broke. Look, 1-pot meal, and I've got it simmering right now. I don't know if you can see the simmering that's going. If you can hear the simmering going on. This is one of my favorites. I call it a chicken fajita skillet because this is something. Yeah, I'm going back to Tex-Mex, from Dallas, representing. So this meal is pretty simple. Right now, what I have simmering on my stove, and I will let you see, I have some nice brown rice going, some black beans. Look at all that color, all that flavor, right? So I've got that simmering right here, and I've got a better than bouillon because I try to use something that's a good, nice, rich stock, kind of like a stock that's good, right? And so I've got fire roasted tomatoes, garlic. Oh my God, if y'all could smell this, I wish you could smell this. It smells so amazing. Like it is almost done, folks. Like my rice is pumping up, my beans are nice and full, and just look at all the color and the flavor, and look at it. You go through that pan, that is delicious, but it's still missing something. I know you say, oh my gosh, you said chicken, right? You say you got some black beans, but you know what? I need
parts. I have
a lot.
So your rice
protein.
Did you pre-cook?
I need it
before you. Did you boil the rice?
Yes.
Before you put it.
Well, the rice. No. I did not boil the rice, and you see, I'm going generously with this because you know what? This is great.
Absolutely.
For leftovers, people. You can cook this in 3 or 4 days, right? So I'm stirring in my wonderful hemp parts. I love the flavor of them naturally because it kind of has like a little bit of a nutty kind of flavor to it. Mm-hmm. And it's just going to add to that. So it goes all in. It stirs in with the rice. And I mean, honestly, it's just a beautiful work of art, right? You see my rice getting nice and thick. I've got cumin in there. I've got some Mexican hot style chili powder because, you know, I shake it on until my ancestors say enough, right? So I don't believe in 1 teaspoon here. I mean, not when it comes to seasoning, right?
Yeah.
Or to those fresh vegetables and aromatics. I want it all in. And look, if you look in here, you see some beautiful brown rice. You see some nice and delicious brown black beans up in here. Beautiful colors and flavors. The hemp parts have married in. And now,
well, an alternative for those who may be plant-based or may not eat chicken. You know, I love chicken, but some of our students may not. So you added the hemp parts into the dish, which is an excellent source of plant-based protein. So would you recommend that you can just substitute the, you know, the meat or whatever you would normally use for your skillet dish with the hemp parts?
absolutely. If I was still doing my full-on first take of Daniel fast, like honestly, this is Daniel fast approved, right? Because you're looking at it. I started off with olive oil, right? And then I put in my onions, right? Got that going in there. And then I put in my bell peppers. There are 4 different colors of bell peppers in here, right?
Okay.
I got the whole rainbow because I love colorful, bright, beautiful dishes, right?
Okay.
So I put all that in. I put some garlic. Yeah, wonderful garlic was marinating in there. And I have it going around in here. And even if I say I don't want to put chicken, what I'm going to garnish this with, I have some fresh cilantro. I've got a dash of some lime juice, right? And I've got some avocados, the good fat, right? So I've got all of this right here. This is a meal by itself.
It is. DJ is
This is a
watching.
meal. Even if I
Dedicated and hungry. So I can definitely agree with him, DJ. I feel the exact same way. But let's break it down for
right?
folks. Lakeisha, everyone may not be as skilled as you in the kitchen. So we jumped right in, sauteing and salivating over the screen and trying to see, okay, can I get some, what can I get over there? But let's back up. So we started with olive oil. How much olive oil did we put in the pan?
I would say like 2 tablespoons, you know, just to kind of like coat the pan. Because all you're doing is coating your pan and you're doing your onions. I cut up some fresh onions, right? Really delicious.
A whole onion?
A whole onion.
Okay.
And let me tell you, if you're a student and you're on the go, like I've been, like running everywhere, go to like an Albertsons or Kroger's. They got it cut out for you, people. don't stress yourself, right? It's right there in the produce section. As far as your bell peppers, they've got it cut up too. You just go ahead and throw that in. The next thing that I threw in was, like I said, my garlic, right? Garlic in there. And these are all your fresh things for making a wonderful savory.
Is it like, how is the garlic prepared? Is it full sliced? Okay.
It is minced. It is right there in your Target or Walmart section. You know, I'm making it easy. I'm doing the easy way. I will not stress myself out making a meal, even if it's gonna give me
onions. We have our garlic. All of that is simmering. And what's the next thing that we put in that pan?
We put in a little bit of broth. Now you can use either the chicken one for our vegetarians. I got you, babe. I got you right here. I got even my vegetarian one. That garden vegetable, it is savory AF. When I tell you it is savory, right? So you can put that on in there and add just a little bit of water. I'd say 1 to 2 cups of water, right? No more than 2 cups because you don't want your rice to become mushy or gross or anything, right? Once I have that in, I add my black beans. Simple, organic black beans. I like to rinse them off.
Beans, are they frozen? Is it a can? What type of black beans are we looking for those who are writing this recipe
it's a
down?
Or you can do frozen.
Okay.
I got you better. I got your recipe here. I'll send out to you. I'll send it out to all you folks, right? Because I use recipes, but I tweak them. I will post it. So I put my black beans, and then I have a can of some fire roasted tomatoes, right? I love it because it gives you that extra savory taste and stuff that you want, right? And once I have that all going, I throw in my rice and I throw in my hemp hearts because I want to get that protein going. This right here, if you're looking at it, that juice is almost all the way gone. It is
Yeah.
ready. It is simmered. It is looking very tasty. You got a very huge meal here filled
So
with protein.
how I saw that you're right. You remind me of the folks who taught me how to cook with a dash of this and a pinch of this, and using no real measurements whatsoever. But we made it work. But
Measurements in the direction.
for those
But
again,
I taste
I
and,
know,
and
I
see.
know, I know. But how much hemp did you put into the recipe? Did you add to the recipe?
I actually put in double the amount, double the 3 tablespoons. I put in 6,
Okay.
and that
Okay.
way, because if you're looking at it, this can serve like anywhere from 4 to 6 people if you're looking at it. And I want to make sure they get a good healthy dose of these hemp hearts. And I actually want to add more to me. I love them because it gives it such a good flavor and texture for it. So I'm getting that protein. If I were to stop this right now and decided not to put the chicken in, still awesome protein packed meal, and it's delicious, right? And it's something warm because too many times as a student, what do? You go for the quick fix. You go for the Raising Cane's, or you go to some fast food joint, and you don't want to eat that because that goes to what I call the freshman spread, which is like that extra 15,
Oh,
20 pounds you
yeah.
get.
Yeah, I shared with our producer Eric. I shared with him that I survived on my first year of college on Uncle Ben's rice. That's not healthy. Just rice. Just so yeah. My cute little
Yeah,
shaved head on prom that slowly went away.
that's
So we
pretty
want you to
bad.
add some vegetables and plant-based protein to your recipes,
Yes,
to your rice, so that you can have a
yes.
balanced meal, so that you can protect yourself, nourish your cells, nourish your body while you're out
Mhm.
on campus. And you're still your parents' baby, so we have to protect them
Absolutely.
while they are away. So thank you so much for sharing this recipe. I cannot wait to see that plated up and garnished with some hemp hearts. And maybe you can even overnight me some so I can taste it tomorrow. But thank you
You
so
know,
much.
how about when I come and visit this
Absolutely.
new
We're going to get to our next chef.
side?
So our next chef is Olivia Johnson. She is from New Jersey. Thank you so much, Lakeisha. We'll come right back to you. So, Olivia, I'm going to read her bio. Developing a sense of community and oneness is a priority and must be taken into every aspect of Olivia's life. Her vocation is encourages the relationship between plant medicine and spirituality. This journey has led Olivia to her current position as cultivation technician at Green Thumb Industry, development at High Times, High Beautiful, and site manager at Student MMJ Alliance. Olivia is currently studying environmental studies at Seton Hall University, but outside of her studies and her various positions, she enjoys a full day of art, mycology, astrology, and cooking with her family from the heart, of course. Please join me in welcoming Olivia. Hi, Olivia. How are you? It's great to see you. It looks like
I'll be making some ramen today, so I'm super excited to show you guys my favorite recipe.
ramen. Okay, you're gonna teach me something. I cannot wait. What is the motivation behind this particular dish? Do you eat it often? Where did you learn to make ramen?
So throughout COVID, not being able to eat out, I missed ramen so much. So I had to be able to find a way to make that for myself. So I did a little bit of experimenting. I did ask some questions, and I came up with my own little recipe. Definitely all 100% vegan. and it's super addicting. So if I could ship it to you, I definitely would. I would.
Okay, well, I cannot wait. Please walk me through the steps. Like I said, I will be taking notes here. I have never ever prepared ramen.
No problem. Okay, so in this pot right here, I have 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, and then the rest of it is vegetable stock. I had to use College Inn because it's fitting, for the event today.
Very.
Whole box. It's super delicious, so you can't go wrong. In this cup, I have ginger and garlic. You just throw that in there. I have some tofu. I usually get the soft kind because it absorbs broth better. It's softer. It has a really nice, delicate flavor to it, and you can't go wrong. My favorite type of mushroom, shiitake mushrooms. Super good with dish. I can't complain. Nothing wrong. They're super good for your immune system, your skin, your digestive tract. Perfect, honestly. So once these start going, you want them to marry together and simmer down. Usually when mushrooms, get soft and a little bit plump, then you can start adding in your noodles and your garnishes.
So I have to admit, Olivia, okay, and I'm so glad that you proved me wrong. But when you said you were preparing ramen, I said, okay. So initially, what do you think of when you think of ramen? Can you guess?
Oh, the cup of noodles.
I said, okay, well, sure, that's college appropriate. The cup of soup, the cup of noodles. But this is a much more delicious and healthy version. And it is true ramen, of course.
I could not stand the packet ramens. The sodium packet, oh my God, those just have me up all night. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Okay, yes. So in addition to you being an amazing cook and a senior in school, so this is your last semester. What's your course load like?
My course load is super light this semester. I'm super grateful for that. Mostly environmental courses, so I can't go wrong there. Just a couple research and things like that. But I'm mostly focused on work. So I know that's a little bit bad, but I just love my career so much. And I think the degree is supposed to help me with that. So,
Absolutely. Well, tell us about it. You said you love your career. You're passionate about everything that you're doing. We want to hear more about you. Tell us about it.
So cultivation is really my game. I love it so much. It started off with, just planting little cactus plants and little jade plants with my grandmother in Connecticut. She's from Guyana, so that's all they know how to do is just plant and grow and garden. So that's what I grew up around. And as time went on, I fell in love with hemp, with cannabis, and I learned that all the healing properties and all the spiritual properties that it does have, and all the ways it can help people. Why can't I help people? Well, why can't I help nature help people? You know what I mean? So I took that path. I began applying for different jobs. I finally got a job as a cultivation tech at Green Thumb Industries. I get to take care of other plants. I get to plant clones, transition them into the vegetation room and flower room. So it's really good to get my hands in the dirt with nature. I just feel at home with those plants all the time. And as a side hobby, I have my little mushrooms, my mycology projects going on. It's a bit of research, but it's like a labor of love. There's nothing more exciting than seeing them spread out the ground. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your passion. Thank you for sharing your time because, you're juggling a lot, but I cannot wait to see the final version of this particular meal here. And maybe I'll even try to make it because I don't, the cup of soup, but I didn't eat that since middle school.
Okay. And you can always replace the tofu with chicken. It's always natural. But carbohydrates are a great way to get your protein. I always recommend me and everything, your drinks, your acai bowls, whatever. It's so good.
So how did you factor in the hemp hearts in this particular recipe? Since the ramen is something that you've been making for a while, so you incorporated that. Did you incorporate it with the tofu, or did you make two different versions, one with the tofu and one, with just the hemp hearts that you garnish?
So I would always do both because I do work out like that. So the more protein, the better. I usually use it as a garnish since the soup gets really soft sometimes with the tofu and everything. I like to have a little bit of texture, some crunch. So those are my favorite things to add on top.
Okay. All right. Well, do you have a final version there for us to see?
Yes, I do. So here's my final version. I didn't get to finish putting in all the other ingredients. You have noodles, you have scallions for garnish, and you have some. And then as a final product, you could throw some seaweed in there, some chili oil, garnish on top, and your hemp seeds. Can you see it really good?
That looks amazing.
It's good.
I
It's
am
good.
so impressed.
Trust me, it's good.
Between you, okay, so I'm going to start off with Marcus in the morning with his protein shake, and I'm not going to run. I'll just wait for him. But we're going to start off with the protein shake. Then we may come over to New Jersey and have some ramen, and then meet Lakeisha. And for that one plate, one pot meal, you guys are just amazing me. Like, this is not what I was doing while I was in college. So thank you so much for sharing your time and your skill and your passion with us. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, Olivia.
Thank you.
All right, so we are now going to go back to Lakeisha. You have to go find her. Where's Waldo? Where's Keisha? Hello, Lakeisha.
I'm back. What's up? And I'm ready. I'm ready for you. Ready? Look at this. I put some hemp hearts on top as well. I got some fresh cilantro, a little green onion. I've got my avocado, that healthy fat. You can just dig on in that sucker, and it is amazing. Yeah, it is so. In fact, you know what? I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all just gonna have to excuse me because I'm feeling something. I'm experiencing something really, really. Oh my God. Okay. I have to get better every time. Okay. Okay.
That looks amazing.
I'm sorry, I went completely off range, but
No worries.
A little bit of
So much. I
experienced
vicariously through you.
This
I appreciate you sharing.
I mean, even this doesn't even have a chicken on here. Okay.
Okay. So we have our protein shake. We have two very elaborate meals that students may have to splurge a little bit and spend a little bit more time on. But I have something that I want to prepare that's going to be very quick and very easy and just, can you see that? Okay. So very quick and very easy. So what I'm going to prepare for you today are, they're called energy balls. Now, I really want to find another name for them, but that's what they are. So these are no-bake energy balls. And what I have here, I have a half cup of oats. I have a half cup of hemp hearts. I actually tweaked the recipe a bit. So in addition to the original recipe called for 1 cup of oats. And so instead of all of the oatmeal, I wanted to replace half of that with the wonderful hemp hearts here. So we have a half cup of oats, a half cup of hemp hearts. We have 2/3 cup of flaxseed, a half cup of shredded coconut, unsweetened coconut. And then we have some chocolate chips, some peanut butter, and a little bit of flaxseed and honey. So that's here in the bowl. So I don't have an opportunity to wash my hands, but don't worry, no one will eat this. So once that's all in the bowl, what you do is just mix it all up. Mix it up. It's super easy. I'm not going to do all of it right now because I still need to finish with you guys here. But you just mix it up. And then you want to pop it into the refrigerator for about 1 to 2 hours to let it harden up or solidify a bit. And after it does that, and this is what you have. Do you see these here? So these are wonderful energy balls. They last about 4 to 5 days in an airtight container. And again, you have your healthy oats, you have your hemp hearts, a little bit of sweetness there with the honey and also the chocolate chips. And then the other goodness with the chia seeds and flax seeds, and just a great go-to snack. So a quick and easy way to incorporate the hemp hearts into your diet. You may hear my daughter behind me. So mommies need quick and easy meals to prepare as well. So that is my recipe that I definitely wanted to ensure that I shared with you. Just because, again, we know that you are students. We know that you don't have a lot of time. But if you can, you've learned from Lakeisha a one-pot meal that you can actually meal prep that on Sunday and eat throughout the week. So we have that. We have our protein shakes. We have energy balls, and even splurge on a little bit of ramen. So what we continue to show you and we continue to learn is that there are so many things that you can do with these hemp hearts. They're incredibly versatile, from desserts and milk to adding them to the foods that you already love and enjoy is an excellent way to get the plant-based protein into your diet. And for this month, now, our students, our big babies that we have out on campus, they are special because we are running an amazing deal just for the students. So we have a bundle for our college students and for those that love them. 2 bags of the hemp hearts for $26.99. So if you've bought the hemp hearts before, if you visited hemp&fork.com before, you know that they normally retail at $16.99. So this is an amazing deal. But as we mentioned in the very beginning, we want to ensure that our big kids are out there, eating healthy, and they have these snacks and they can, protect themselves and be present and nourished and healthy while they're away from us. So an amazing deal. Again, go to the website, www.hemp&fork.com. The code will be available for about a week for you to get the bundle, which is 2 bags of the hemp hearts for just $26.99. So that's an amazing deal. I may even stock up at that price. So please definitely go over to the website. All right, so now we're going to bring all of our guests back and just do a quick recap and close out. We don't need these anymore. I'm actually about to eat one of them because I am starving. I have been running around all day preparing for this show, and I have not eaten, so I'm not
I took the
practicing.
apron off. I'm ready to eat.
Okay, you guys. So let's go with Marcus, since he's on the West Coast with me. Marcus, what do you want other students, what do you want families to know? What do you want their takeaway to be after watching today's show? You need some water with these energy balls, just FYI, so have something to drink.
Yeah, I guess my only tip of advice is that, you shouldn't let your nutrition suffer just for lack of time. I think there are a lot of different ways, different dishes, and, different recipes that can kind of fulfill the need to get your, nutritious value up without, sacrificing just because you don't have that much time. So that's my tip, and I hope everybody follows it.
That is excellent advice, sir. Excellent. And what about you, Olivia? Hold on just a second. We missed the beginning. You're muted. Okay, while we're waiting on Olivia, let's just head over to Lakeisha. Olivia, we'll come right back to you because we want to hear all of the advice that Olivia has to share.
I think that everyone should know that you are the owner and CEO of your health, right? I told you my story, my journey with my doctor. And at some point, you have to do that research. You have to check for yourself. And I know it's hard. We're busy. But listen to your bodies. If your body is constantly fatigued or feeling dehydrated, you have to make sure you're getting that protein. This isn't easy easy source of protein, right? It can be sprinkled on anything, added to anything, and make sure you have your water, which I do in my shameless plug of Southern University, and you just take it with you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for Lakeisha. And as Lakeisha just mentioned, you can put them on anything. You can even eat them by themselves. They are delicious. I don't have any water nearby, so I won't eat them right now. But they are very delicious. So Olivia, tell us, what do you want people to take away?
Okay, lastly, for anyone who is a vegan or vegetarian out there, when people want to ask you that question, where do you get your protein from? You know, just pull up with this, pass it to them, and then you're good to go, okay?
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's my takeaway.
Absolutely. Thank you all for being here with me today. Again, everyone go out and get the bundle. It's 2 for $26.99. It'll be available on our website for the next week. And again, thank you for joining us at Cooking from the Heart. And be sure that everything that you're doing from the heart. Thank you, everybody.